Welcome to SQL Nuggets. Today we are going to be discussing the differences between the truncate and delete statements in SQL Server. While both of these statements are used to remove data from a table, here are some important distinctions between the two that you need to be aware of. Delete is used to remove one or more rows from a table. And when delete removes these rows, it's going to do them one at a time and record an entry in the transaction log for each row that it deletes. Now, this is a very important distinction because every record that you delete is going to have a transaction written to the log file. If you're just deleting a single row, that's not a big deal. It will just write a single delete statement to the log file. If you're deleting 500 rows, then you will have 500 delete statements written to your log file. So the more data you delete with the delete statement, the larger your log file is going to grow. Delete can also use other TSQL capabilities such as common table expressions, table hints, and where clauses that you can use to specify and limit the data that you want to delete. Delete also retains the identity counter for any identity columns, and it does not reset the seed value. Now, this is important because if you have an integer or a big int that is a primary key and identity, it's an auto-incrementing number, and you run the delete statement on your table, delete will not do anything to mess with the iteration of those values. So if there are 500 rows in your table and the identity is at number 500 and you run some deletes in there, the next insert that comes in will pick up the next iteration, which would probably be 501. That's very important because truncate does not act like that. We'll see that here in a moment. Now, when you run a truncate table command, it removes all rows from the table. But the table structure itself is not modified. So all the data in the table gets wiped out, and this happens almost immediately. Truncate does not have a where clause like the delete statement does. It is all or nothing. Truncate removes all tables without logging the individual row deletions like delete does. So delete is going to log each individual row that it removes. Truncate does not do that. So this is a much safer option for your log file. Truncate table is faster and uses fewer resources than running a delete statement across your entire table. Unlike delete, truncate table does reset the seed value for your identity columns. So if you have 500 records in a table and your primary key is auto-incremented and it is sitting there at number 500, if you run a truncate statement, the next row that gets inserted into will start over at 1 for your identity. So this is very different from delete because delete does not change the actual seed of your identity columns. Truncate does. It resets it as if this was just a new table newly created. So when it comes to best practices, to delete all of the rows in a table, use truncate table because it is going to be faster and more efficient than using delete. However, if you only want to delete specific rows, individual rows, or a subset of data, you will need to use the delete statement with a where clause. I hope this nugget was helpful. If so, please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit SQL Nuggets for more tips.